Hey guys, welcome to today's video tutorial. Your eyes are not deceiving you. This is a mood board that you can see right on the screen at the minute. There's no SketchUp floor plan, there's no SketchUp elevation. We're not discussing SketchUp today. Today is all about the mood board. And that's partly because recently I launched a brand new online mood board course where I show you how to create a mood board using Canva and a different styled mood board using Photoshop. I'm going to leave a link in this video in the top right hand corner in case you're interested in checking that out. It's aimed at beginners and it's been specifically created for interior designers. So this layout is the same as one of the layouts in the Photoshop template pack. It's actually this one here that you get. So I used this exact same layout for this Scandi Design Inspiration mood board. And if we go into Photoshop, this is how it looks at the minute. I have prepped it. I'm not going into this today. This is, I cover this in my Photoshop template video tutorial. When you buy that, I show you how to edit it. Today is not about editing in Photoshop or anything like that. It's about my creative process when I am searching for images and I'm using Pinterest as the source. I want to help you when it comes to formulating a process to finding those important images that you're going to put in your mood board. I think it's really important to remember as well that, this is very conceptual. I think sometimes some of you are overcomplicating this process. And for initial concepts, especially if you're creating mood boards for Instagram or Facebook so that you're creating online content, you don't need to be as specific, okay? And I'm going to give you some tips when it comes to image composition and cropping and all of that because it's all important. All of these little things come together to produce one final balanced, structured and cohesive mood board, okay? So this is my actual account here, okay? So let's just dive in, okay? When I was starting to create this mood board, and let's take a look at this again. So this is what I was looking at. Well, actually tell a lie. This is what I was looking at. I always think it's good to create a mood board from a previous mood board that you've already created. I think looking at a blank white page is soul destroying. It's not very inspiring. It doesn't help to generate any ideas or, inspiration. So this is what I had. But I've cleared all those images to make it an easier process for us today. So I started with the top left-hand corner. The reason I started with the top left-hand corner is because I tend to put room inspiration shots in larger areas like this because it just works well. So I went into Pinterest with that in mind. Okay, I typed in Scandi bedroom in the search field. I knew that I wanted to have a Scandinavian feel and I kind of wanted to include a bedroom scene. So it's really important when you're starting off that you have some kind of idea of the style that you're after. You don't have to be specific. You don't have to have any specific colors, just the general style. And that day it was Scandi for me. I didn't type Scandinavian, I didn't type Danish, I typed Scandi bedroom, and this is what happened. So then I scrolled down to take a look at the images that had appeared, okay? And these were all looking pretty promising. This is a pretty promising image, I have to be honest, because it's kind of front facing, and I'm all about the front facing images, especially for bedrooms, including this one as well, where you have that nice shot of the side table, the light, and the front of the bed. So, and this one's really beautiful too. I love that as well. So I scrolled down and I came across this one. And I really liked it, really because of the wood, the art, and the tan cushion. So I clicked on that image to get a better look at it. Okay. And then I copied it and I brought it into Photoshop and I pasted it in. Okay. Now, You can't do this ordinarily. I have set this file up specifically so that you can drop images in and they are contained within a certain boundary. Okay, that's why you buy my templates. So I'm just going to increase the size of this and position it. Okay, and that's quite nice. That's quite a nice image for the starting point of this mood board. I'm actually just going to check to see. Okay, yeah, that's pretty close to what I have there. So cropping is so important for grid style mood boards, especially so that you're getting the right amount of information in this little contained area. I have the bed here. There's a little bit of art. There's a little bit of greenery, and we have a little bit of the bedside table. Perfection. Now, when I'm looking at this image, I'm looking for ideas for the rest of the images for this mood board. That's where I'm taking a lot of my inspiration from. So I don't know what your process is and what you guys are doing. If you're going back into Pinterest and just kind of stumbling about to try to find something, just hold on and start paying attention to the imagery that you're starting to select and take inspiration from it. So I specifically remember after I put this image in that I saw this greenery and I was very attracted to it. And the reason I was attracted to it is because Scandinavian design, which uses a lot of natural materials, it's heavily associated with biophilia. I decided, right, okay, I have to include greenery in this mood board, okay? So I went back to Pinterest and I typed in fiddle leaf fig. And the reason I did that is because, so this is the top of all of the search results. The reason I did that was because it's a very trendy plant at the minute. House plants are huge, and I wanted to include a plant that had quite a bit of form and was easily identifiable, okay? So then I started the process of scrolling down to see what there was. And I decided that I wanted to get a close-up of this plant because I just feel a small photo like this of the plant from a distance isn't really captivating. Whereas images like this that have close-ups of foliage and detail is a lot more visually enticing. So I scrolled down and I kept scrolling. Nothing was standing out. Don't give up after the first few images. Keep going down, keep scrolling until you see something that catches your eye. And there will be something, you know, there's always going to be something after a while that you'll see that's interesting. And the thing is, even if you click on something that has, you know, attracted your attention, obviously in Pinterest, assuming that it isn't a promoted pin, it's going to keep suggesting things underneath anyway. So just, you know, keep selecting images, take a look, take a browse, and you never know what Pinterest is going to suggest as well. However, my eye was attracted to this one right here. So I clicked on that one and I copied it into my mood board, and I instantly wanted to put it here because it was a nice link with the greenery here. It's also a really nice large surface area to include greenery, okay? So let's just paste that in and let's just drag that up, and it's almost perfection because it's a good image size. It has a nice little bit of detail. And I really don't need to do an awful lot more. Now, let me just check what I did initially. Okay, so I actually brought it over here so that you could see the edges of the leaves a little more. Okay, so that's grand. That's all I did there. Now, what I did do was desaturate the colour a little because it's so green and I just don't want it to be so green. I always find that more desaturated images are a little bit more modern, a little bit more edgy, and it's just a vibe that I really like. So I'm going to go into Image and Adjustments, select Hue, Saturation, and just bring that down a little. Okay? So it's not quite as colourful. That's my preference. And it's obviously, the desaturated look is obviously very appropriate for Scandinavian design as well. So then I thought to myself, okay, I have the greenery, I have the bedroom. What I want to do now is get a bit of furniture. So I did a search for a chest of drawers. The reason I chose a chest of drawers is because it would fit in here beautifully, because this is a nice large area. And when it comes to chests of drawers, you would get a lot of images that are front facing, like this one right here, but it's not suitable for us. It's not the right style. And this one right here, which isn't bad, but I don't want a double chest. This is quite nice. This is actually really nice. I do like that. So that kind of picture with a chest of drawers with some accessories on top that's front facing would fit into here perfectly. Okay, so I typed in chest of drawers and I scrolled down until something stood out to me. Okay, and I just kept scrolling. That's nice. I like that. Anyway, I kept scrolling down, taking a look, nothing jumping out at me yet. And then eventually, where is it? There, I saw this and I liked the tone of it. I liked the fact that it had more greenery and the different materials at the top of the chest of drawers. Okay, so I clicked on that, I had a look at it and I really liked it. It's very Scandi, and it's very good at conveying that pale wood with the neutral tones, a little bit of metallic and a lot of greenery. It kind of just encompassed the Scandi look very well. So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to bring it into my mood board, and I'm just going to position it like so. And really all I'm doing is making sure that the legs are quite a bit at the bottom. And what I might do is just reduce it a little so all of that plant can be seen. And you can see a little bit of the greenery here and a little bit of the basket, and that's perfection. And then just click off that. Now, let me see what the original was like. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. Okay, so loving that. I mean, I don't think I changed the saturation on that. No, I didn't. I basically just left it the way it was. Yeah, and I'm going to do that as well. I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And it just, the actual proportions of that scene fit in there just beautifully. I couldn't have done any, I don't feel I could have done any better with that, with the composition of that image in that area of the mood board. So then I decided, okay, what will I do next? And to be honest, I kind of wanted to include a little bit of art. I knew that I wanted to include a wall light and probably a cushion. And I'm not actually sure, what did I put in here? Oh, decorative accessories. Okay. I mean, they're the big hitters, aren't they, when it comes to a mood board? So let's list these. An inspiration shot or two, because this is really an inspiration shot as well. And the plant up here in top right. A couple of product shots, which may be a lamp or a wall light. More product shots of soft furnishings, for example, a throw, a cushion. You might include vases or candles or candle holders, and definitely art as well, okay? They're like the big hitters. So if you're ever struggling, think about the things that you would include in a design scheme or your own room at home, okay? Think of the principles of interior design and how you can reflect most of those in your mood board, okay? This is conceptual. This is the starting point for our ideas and our inspiration, okay? So, I'm not gonna lie. At this stage, I didn't have any specific ideas in terms of what I was gonna do next. I knew that maybe I wanted to include a specific art piece. So, back into Pinterest, I typed in Scandi styles. That's so generic. It's very vague, but look at the beautiful images that is brought up. We have a lovely little decor piece here with books. This is a really beautiful shot of a dining table and chairs with some hanging pendant lights. This is cute, but they're not applicable to me, okay? I saw this image, and whilst it's not right for my mood board, I did click on it, okay? What I'm trying to say here is don't instantly dismiss images that you feel aren't applicable, okay? I saw the art here and I clicked on it. So here we are. Here is that image now with the art, which, I mean, this just does not go with the mood board that I have. However, like I said previously, when you click an image, assuming that it isn't a promoted pin, you will be able to look at all of the suggestions below that Pinterest is going to offer. So I did continue to search, casually searching through all of these images, because you can see now that because there was art is the predominant element, well, art and that lamp in this image. So I'm going to start seeing a lot of images of art, okay? And when it comes to Scandinavian, modern art, abstract, you know, that's where we're obviously going to go here. And I'm just looking, constantly looking, and I see this. And I'm drawn to this, okay? So let's go up to that. There it is right there. Now, I felt that the colour palette wasn't appropriate, okay? I just didn't think the blush was going to go too well with what I was doing. Well, it was just too strong for me. So I scrolled down and I saw this. And I liked that. To be honest, I liked those as well. You could have chosen either, but I was drawn to this one because it had more black in it, okay? So I clicked on it. There we go. And this is all in the order that I did this, guys. I've just kept all these open. So then I decided, well, let's see what else there is. So I scrolled down. And I'm still just casually looking. And to be honest, I wanted something a little bit more neutral for that mood board. And then I saw this. Okay, so let's go up to that. That shouldn't be there. That is what I saw, and I was really drawn to that, really because of the figurative, simple piece that it has, and that nice little bit of, I don't know, putty, warm grey in the background. I just felt that it worked really nicely. So let's just take a copy of that, and let's just put it in the bottom right-hand corner. So let's just bring that in. And to be honest, I have to do very little here, guys. I mean, you know, it fits there beautifully. I mean, I don't think I made any changes to that. No, it just fits there fantastically. And it's not overpowering. It's not kind of upsetting the balance of the mood board. It looks fantastic. After this, I decided that I wanted to put something in here. And generally speaking, in these smaller sections, I would usually include wall lights, a close-up of a lamp, a close-up of cushions, or, you know, fabric, or vases and decorative items, things like that. So I was kind of allocating these two for smaller items or decorative items, things like that. And I had decided that this was going to be a close-up of texture of some description, but I wasn't sure yet. So with regards to this, I had decided, okay, let's go for wall lights. So if I'm going to look for a little bit of inspiration on the type of style of wall light, well, I kind of looked here and thought, well, that's metallic, so let's go for metallic. That might be nice. So I went back to my Pinterest and I typed in wall lights, okay? And I'm not even having to type metal or brass or whatever. It's already coming up because it's already very on trend. So it's, you know, Pinterest is suggesting things that are already popular, you know, anyway. So I'm scrolling down, waiting until I see something, and there are a few things that I could use here, like this, for example, because of the angle. I mean, I've said to you guys before that front facing things that don't have too much of an angle on them are the ideal images to use for mood boards, especially the grid type, because it is bound by straight lines. So if you're going to put an image in that is quite front facing, that doesn't have a crazy amount of perspective on it, then it stands to reason it's going to work so much more better. It's going to complement and harmonize the mood board. Anyway, so let's keep looking. I'm constantly scrolling down here, seeing what we have. Nothing is standing out. I decide at this stage, because I've seen so much gold, that I probably will want to use brass. And I did see that, and I was going to use that, and I decided not to. So I kept scrolling, and to be honest, I'm kind of hoping that the wall light that I saw comes up here, because maybe I did a couple of searches to find it, because I can't see it here. So let's, there we go. There it is right there. So I think I clicked on that. I've just lost it there. Hold on a second. Get that back. I think I clicked on that, but then, yeah. And then, no, I did. I clicked on that, and I wanted to get a better view of that. I just didn't feel that was good enough. And then I saw this, and I felt that was perfect, because you're just getting a better side angle on that. Whereas this one just, it's very tight, you know, I just didn't feel it worked as well. So I used this one. So I copied that. Let's bring it in here. Let's paste that. Now, I know a lot of you would probably just leave that the way it is, okay? And I wouldn't. And this is where cropping is so important. And I do go into this in a lot more detail in my online mood board course. You know, image composition, cropping, being aware of how an image is looking within these grids is very important. And you can tell, you can see right now that there are elements of this image that are being covered. And sometimes that's good and sometimes it's bad. In this instance, it's not working very well because we're losing a lot of the detail and impact of that wall light. Now, what I did do was I actually moved this up because I felt it was just impeding in this area quite a bit. So I literally just moved it up. I think maybe about there. Let me just double check. A little bit more. Okay. So let's just do that again. Okay, so let's move it to there. And really what I wanted was all of this to be in shot, but I didn't think it was completely necessary for this to be in shot. So I moved it down and it was still a bit tight. So I just brought it down again. And now you can see that we can see the entire light here, the nice little arm and a tiny bit of the fitting there in the wall. Let me just double check and see what I had that as. Yeah. So what I did actually, let's just bring that up again. What I did was bring that the whole way over. That makes a lot more sense. Yeah. That makes a lot more sense. I actually brought that all the way over. Like that. And now this isn't being given the same amount of attention because it's really not that important. This and this is what's important. And I just had to modify the location of the title with that nice little circular border so that this was getting a much better placement within this little grid area. Okay. Now, if I remember correctly, it was the cushion in here that I wanted next. So let me just double check. Yeah, it was. So what did I type in my search? I literally typed cushion. I mean, come on. Not exactly adventurous. How beautiful is that cushion right there? Love that. Anyway, so I scrolled down until I saw something that grabbed my eye, and to be honest, I'm not actually sure. Yeah, there was nothing really there that was grabbing me, to be honest. I did another search for throw Scandi, so that I was trying to be more specific in terms of the style. And I'm not actually sure. I may have clicked on this. Let's see. No, I think maybe that came up. Yeah, that came up here in the search results. So what actually happened here was I started out looking for cushions and I used the search term cushion. Then I decided to do a quick search for a throw. And when I was doing that, this came into the search results, which is fantastic because it includes the cushion, but it also includes a nice little bit of texture with the throw. And that's what I went for, okay? So it's actually a large image. So it's perfect for this area here because it's quite tall, okay? So I'm going to copy that and I'm going to bring it in to this mood board. And let's just, and literally guys, what I did was I didn't want to have, I mean, this kind of shape doesn't allow for an awful lot composition wise. You are better using a close-up. So I just wanted to give a hint of the type of pattern and the texture that I would be wanting to include in this design scheme. And this was all that I needed to convey that. You don't actually need to have, you know, a small cushion in here, like an entire cushion in here, or an entire image of a throw. You know, you don't need to be that literal. It's the same with the plant. I don't actually have an image of a full house plant here stuck there. It's a close-up of foliage. And that's enough to convey what it is you're hoping to achieve in terms of the starting point of this design. Now, I think I may have brought it over a little more. Yeah, I did. So I showed a little more of the cushion. And that's basically it, you know. That was all I showed. I may have, no, I think maybe that's it. Then the last part of this mood board, I decided to include some kind of decorative accessory that added a little bit of character, okay? So let's go back, and what I typed in was natural vases. Now, you're going to get a lot of rustic stuff. You're going to get a lot of organic looking things. You're going to get, you know, texture like this. So if you're looking for a certain type of decorative accessory or vase, then make sure part of your search term includes a description of that. For example, organic, you know, textured, natural, and that's what I did. So I typed in natural vases, and these are all the types of things that came up. And you can see that I actually had to go down through all of these a little bit before I found something that I felt was suitable. So, and I saw this, and to be honest, I was instantly attracted to this because of this little guy right here. We know that the whole face motif and the kind of three-dimensional faces on vases and decorative objects are very in right now, including faux and dry foliage. So it was a no-brainer. I was going for it. So I'm going to put this in to this mood board. And to be honest, that's the original size. And I just felt it was perfect because why would you bring that all the way down like that? Because it loses all presence. It loses its significance and the contribution that it makes to this design. So what I did was left it at its full size. Now, if I just take a look, yeah, I basically just moved it over a little. And that's it. I wonder, did I make it a little bit smaller? I don't think so. So this is a little bit of what was beside it, which is fine. But I really wanted this and this to be given a lot of attention on this mood board. And I think it does it really well. This little guy here also complements this part of this art as well. And I really liked that because it just had a little bit of consistency there. After I did all of this, I then adjusted the color palette. So I think I left that the same, and I may have brought this down here. So what I'm going to do is just, let me see, take a sample of that and fill it with that. And then I think what I did was just adjusted that so that, I mean, this would obviously take a little bit of playing around because I really can't remember where I got that colour from. I think I did it. It was just basically a starting point from the foliage. Okay, so I did that. That's probably too dark. Let's have a look. No, it's not too bad actually. Then there's a definite tan colour right here, and I know that I used the cushion to help me choose that. This is something that Photoshop is amazing for. So let's just sample that. And let's select this colour. And let's just see how that looks. I think it was a little bit darker, the one that I chose. Yep. So let's just adjust that. Let's see. I think it's just a little more subdued. Okay. And what else did I do? All right, so that was changed so that it was a little warmer. So let's see. Oh no. Let's try that again. Yeah. Great. And I think I just made this lighter because there's a lot of grey in here and I wanted to reflect that in the colour palette. So let's just take a sample of the grey and let's just use that. And then deselect. It's not going to be 100% the same as the original. You know, I would need to spend a bit longer, if I was going to try and get it exact. But that's generally it. That was the entire process I used when using Pinterest to search and select the appropriate images, including the creative processes I used in terms of idea generation to help give me inspiration when putting this mood board together. And I hope you find this helpful. Please let me know in the comments what you found useful in terms of this tutorial, and if you feel it has helped you try to, deal with any of the struggles or problems you were experiencing when it comes to image selection for mood boards, because I would love to hear from you. Bye.